Good news, SpaceX crushed Boeing in the race to launch NASA astronauts. The mere idea of any other aircraft beating Boeing in the race to launch the NASA astronauts into space is absolutely astonishing to people. The richest man on the globe, Elon Musk, has done it once again. The NASA astronauts were all set to travel into space straight after 2011. All of the leading spacecraft companies wanted this partnership with NASA for obvious reasons. Until now, it was impossible for even NASA to imagine itself partnering with a company other than Boeing to launch its astronauts. But it seems like the record has indeed been broken. SpaceX has finally beat Boeing in the race to launch the NASA astronauts and has already teamed up with NASA for that specific operation. A few years back, Elon Musk's company was degrading its way towards being bankrupt. But now, it's crushed the topmost company of spacecraft, which is Boeing, and regained all of its reputation and even the money. If any of you didn't know about this multi-tier competition put forward by NASA, then let us tell you that the long-back NASA played its cards extremely tight. NASA wanted to send its astronauts to space with maximum reduced cost-effective spacecraft, which would not deteriorate the environment, manpower, money, and most importantly, fuel. Basically, it wanted everything to be cost-effective as well as environmentally friendly. Hence, for the first time, NASA wished for its astronauts to go on a ride to space, not in a space rocket, but in a commercial spacecraft. 10 years before, Boeing was a leading company in the entire world. Boeing owned the global spacecraft and air travel system to that extent that it didn't even need to prove itself anymore to anyone. Due to this reason, before the competition even began, NASA had been already partnered with Boeing, and the last time the astronauts went to space in 2011 was also a Boeing spacecraft. Now, SpaceX joined the spacecraft league a little late, but like never before. As soon as it entered the race, it thrashed all the private spacecraft companies out of the game with a snap. All the world could see was Boeing and SpaceX competing against each other to carry forward NASA's future project, which was to make cost-effective commercial spacecraft sending astronauts into the space station. When the multi-tiered competition was first organized, all of the other private jet companies were discarded as soon as Boeing and SpaceX stepped in. These two were the final competitors for the 10-year-ahead mission. Both of the companies had their advantages as well as their disadvantages. The major advantage that Boeing had was before SpaceX stepped in, it was Boeing who had all kinds of permanent partnerships with NASA and handled all of its space operations. They had worked with NASA before, hence they knew them way better than any other company could ever do. But SpaceX was new to the game, but their main advantages were their modern technology, flexibility, speed, and their experience in commercial flying. Keeping in view all of these factors and the finalists of the competition, NASA approached SpaceX with its Crew Dragon capsule. Similarly, Boeing was approached with NASA's Starliner capsule. NASA emphasized the development of these capsules because of their reusability. Reusability adds the maximum weight to this whole cost-effective concept. SpaceX's Falcon 9 is also reusable, which is a major positive point. Initially, a senior scientist from NASA confessed in an interview that they highly doubted the SpaceX aircraft and didn't even believe that they would be able to take flight even 50 meters into the air. Although they later confessed that they made a very big mistake doubting Elon Musk and his out-of-the-world ideas. The Crew Dragon and the Starliner capsules are one of the best inventions ever in the history of aircraft. In a lot of interviews, Elon Musk expressed that he was thankful to NASA for taking such a very big step in order to reduce the cost and increase the reusability of their spacecraft. Although the Crew Dragon and the Starliner are similar in their structure, a lot of things are different between them. For starters, let's talk about the budget. As SpaceX aimed at the very beginning of their launch that they would try their very best to increase the cost effectiveness in the spacecraft industry, it seemed like they've stood up to this. The Crew Dragon capsule required a budget of around $2.3 billion, whereas the Boeing Starliner capsule required much more. The Starliner was built using a hopping amount of $4.5 billion. And not just the construction charge, but the per-seat cost of the Crew Dragon and the Starliner also give some huge statements. For example, a single seat in the Crew Dragon capsule cost about $55 million, whereas the same thing costs $90 million in the Starliner. So, if you have this much money to pay, then you're surely welcome for a space ride in any of these capsules. Now, not just astronauts, but SpaceX also aimed at sending civilians into a ride into space as well. By the end of next year, it says to have completed its program for sending 4 civilians into space. Elon Musk has even claimed to build a greenhouse colony on Mars, in which NASA seemed very interested, hence the funding became easier. Not just SpaceX's success, but Boeing's failure also added to its defeat. While the Starliner capsule was launched, it failed to connect with the ISS several times, which, as you can expect, is a shame to the American spacecraft carrier. Although Boeing aims at some similar programs as SpaceX too, for example, sending a capsule filled with all women into space and much more, for now, NASA has made it very clear with whom it wants to tie up in order to complete its operation of sending its astronauts to space after 10 whole years. And that's all for this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to take a moment to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.